What's going on out there, YouTube?
What up, YouTube?
This is SEL0220.
It's Joe Johnson, aka Romans 8. Let's go.
Yeah.
Holla at your boy.
Alright, y'all. Alright, so we put it off. We put it off for a whole week. We were supposed to watch it last week. We didn't. We brought y'all a brand new review for The Flash. Hope y'all like that. Definitely, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out later on after this. But we finally watched it. Transformers 4, The Age of Extinction. So this is Michael Bay's brand new installment with a brand new franchise and with brand new actors. So if you've never seen any of the other ones, you don't necessarily have to watch them to be able to know what's going on in this, because none of the actors from the original one are in this. This is all about the Autobots and a new threat that's against Earth and old enemies that are now back. So we're gonna go and do this like old school way. We're gonna talk about the visuals. We're gonna talk about, we're not even gonna go into the actors too much, because we actually want to add the Autobots in the mix of the actors. And then we're gonna talk briefly about the story. We may do a spoiler after this. We'll talk about it, and then we'll try to figure out if we're gonna do it. But off the gate. So, dare I say, this may be one of the best visually immersive Transformers movies that they've done. The first one, when I first saw the first one, I don't know if you remember it, when it first came out, and it was like, wow. You know, seeing a transform for the first time. In fact, there was a trailer, and you saw, like, I think it was Megatron, he was on like a satellite on the moon, and that was the first time like we had saw like a preview of it. And then when the movie came out, it was just amazing. Amazing visual effects. But this one topped every single one of them, y'all. The action was amazing. What did you think about it, man? Like,
I absolutely loved it. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time, and it was crazy. It was literally crazy. I was very excited. That movie really got me excited. I was excited to see all the Transformers that they incorporated in this movie. My mind was literally blown after watching it.
So, I mean, you see this?
Oh, I got it.
Okay. But with this one, y'all, I don't know how to describe it. I went in with very low expectations because I knew Shia LaBeouf wasn't going to be in it. I knew actors like Tyrese Gibson and the Commander and all the other funny characters from the original were not going to be in this one. So I had low expectations. I knew that Mark Wahlberg can act, but I've also seen The Happening, and that was not a good movie. You know what I'm saying? But when Mark Wahlberg is on his game, he can be an action beast. And every single action scene that he was in this one, he was on point, y'all.
Yeah,
like,
it really was.
Oh my gosh. When you see his character in the beginning, you would never think that some of the things that he's doing on a stunt level. But the other thing is, you remember how many explosions that were happening?
Countless.
Like,
oh my God.
There was destruction everywhere, all over the globe. We were up in China blowing stuff up. I mean, there was an explosion for every single scene. That's classic Michael Bay, though. You know, I mean, most of all his movies added explosions. I mean, we think about Bad Boys 2, explosions everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
This takes a cake.
But
by far,
the visuals now, I guess I would have to give it a 10 out of 10 because this is a lot darker. This is a darker tone kind of a movie. We'll go into the acting level later, but I mean, even the movie score, I actually like the score for this one. I'm gonna actually go back and I might actually buy the score. There was one song that came up called Battle Cry by the group Imagine Dragon. They've done songs like Radioactive, Demons. There's been so many different songs that I love by them, but this one, it set a whole different tone for the movie. And I mean, you are looking at all these different characters and nobody's teaming up together. They're just trying to survive. All the Autobots, all the humans, they're only just trying to survive because of this new threat. And the new threat in the line of Lockdown. Lockdown and his ship are visually one of the most eye-catching things around. And I don't know if you want to describe Lockdown for them. We're not gonna go into too much spoilers, but how would you describe Lockdown and his ship, I guess?
I mean, Lockdown himself, you know what I'm saying? He was definitely a threat, bro. Like, for real. You think about the guy's pretty much, his character's kind of like a bounty hunter. You know what I'm saying? He's really out trying to. He's out to get some other Autobots or pretty much anyone who stands in his way. But his main target is Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
You know, and he just really doesn't care about the humans or anybody. If you're in his way getting Optimus, you're his enemy, and that's really his target is Optimus. And I think he's definitely a threat to Optimus. Definitely a threat. The guy is bad A. It's bad news. It's bad news, bro.
The first time we saw him visually, he was coming out of the water like a Navy SEAL. You think that he's just kind of like a hiding Autobot, you know? But you find out when he actually pulls out his weapon out of his face the first time. Now you've seen it in the trailers, but they've only talked around it. But it's just amazing to watch. And I know we're concentrating on the visuals, but this movie, where it elevates the most is the visuals. And I mean, the other thing we gotta talk about is the Dinobots. Like the Autobots of legend, where you got Optimus Prime, he goes and he's riding on a metal Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like, I can't stress it to you enough. I'm not gonna spoil it, but don't be surprised if you see more than just a Tyrannosaurus Rex in this movie. It's more than just the trailers, and I dare I say this might be the best one that they've done. So going into the acting, well, actually no, you didn't get a score for it. What did you give a score for? The visuals and I guess the audio?
I mean, for the visuals, you know, they had some nice. Apart from this special effects, they had some nice
Practical.
Nice cinematography, like especially over the scenery. I don't even know if it was shot in Texas, but they have some, you know, just footage of like the landscape, and which is like it was really gorgeous, really beautiful.
Yeah.
So on that note, you know, and it's more so toward the start of the movie. When they go to Asia, you get a little bit of that as well, but more so towards the beginning of the movie, you see like these great cinematic shots, and it's really visually appealing. Yeah,
it really was. So, it wasn't a lot of screen, what was it, lens flares, you know, like there was a lot of lens flares in a lot of the J.J. Abrams movies and some of the older Michael Bay's. This one's just really using natural light to immerse you into the world that's going on. Whenever you see like a small moment with like Yeager, which is one of the main characters played by Mark Wahlberg, man, he was with his daughter and stuff like that. It was just a really simple scene, but there's so many dark things that happen to these characters. It's just crazy. So going into that, segue into the actors. So of course you got Mark Wahlberg. You got Stanley Tucci is the guy that was the inventor with the glasses. Okay. You got Kelsey Grammer, who plays kind of a bad guy working ex-CIA, but at the same time has his own agenda. You also got who else? I don't know. There's just a lot of different no-name actors, to be quite honest with you. But nobody had like a performance that was just like campish or very like down. Even like his daughter in this one, who I think her name is Nicola Peltz. She did a decent job. At first, I kind of didn't like her character because personally, I thought that she was kind of being like kind of a brat, you know. But she rose to the occasion of her interaction with her dad. And Mark Wahlberg, he just carries it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he's acting and when he's in character of being the dad or being the inventor, he's playing into those roles. There's never a point where he's like one-sided on one or the other. Like, if he has to protect his family, he will be that role. If he has to be the inventor, if he can't do it right, he will acknowledge his wrongs. But whenever you cross his family, you need to watch out, because he's not afraid to die. And it's a compelling story between, I guess, him trying to make amends for his daughter, to make life better since his wife died, you know. But out of all the characters that you looked at, who would be your kind of your top favorite?
My favorite
actors, not Autobots.
What is his name? What's the name of the what's his name? Chase, the driver.
Oh yeah, the actor's name is Jack Reiner.
Jack Reiner.
But his name was Shane.
Shane. Dang, I'm tripping. But yeah, I like his character. I really enjoy his character, man. Dude is It just made sense, you know what I'm saying, to have someone who is like an expert driver in a Transformers movie. Like, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
And the way he makes his appearance, you know, I actually thought he was driving an Autobot.
Yeah.
But you find out he's not. He's just a good driver.
He's just that good. Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Yeah. So, he plays his character pretty well. Played it pretty well. There was points where I was like, well, what is he doing? But I think, like, they try to parallel, and that's going into the story a little bit, but with Mark Wahlberg's character and his wife, they had his daughter really young, but then his wife died. And so he became, like, the acknowledgement for his daughter on all levels, you know. He didn't want her to do anything. But now she's interacting with this guy who's almost just like him, you know, in a lot of different ways. And he's willing to protect his daughter, but he's really young, you know. He doesn't understand the value of life and death, you know. And by the end of it, every single one of these characters evolve. But to me, Stanley Tucci's character, who plays the guy that discovers that the Autobots are not just metal or not just robots, but they're organic metal in the sense of a sentient being. And so the way he figures out everything, he finds out he can actually do things that nobody else can do with this material. And I just think that his character was just hilarious. I actually really was entertained by his performance. There was points where he was just like the menacing type. There was points where he was like the scared type. But he just got that acting range. I mean, I saw the movie Core with him in it. I thought he was hilarious. You know, I didn't like his character, but it was a part of him that I was like, wow, he is in this performance and he's in it to go. You know what I'm saying? So I really thought that everybody did a general job, but this is the thing you have to understand about this movie. This is an action movie. This is a movie that takes you away from your natural environment and just puts you in. This is not like a motivational movie. This is not like something that's a dramatic thriller, you know, that's so deep. This is just a really good action movie. And I take it at that value. So a lot of people are not going to be able to appreciate it because they're going to look at it like, oh, the acting was this, or you didn't understand what plot point came to this, or why was this character saying this at this point. It's an action movie. It's about the visuals. It's about being immersed into the storyline as though what is going to happen next. And out of all the Transformers movies, you had like Shia LaBeouf's character on the run and you didn't know what was going to happen, but you've never seen every single human that was there in jeopardy, and as well as the Autobots. None of the Autobots were sitting there trying to protect just because. They were trying to survive. And so it was a whole different level, but that's going into the story. And so with this one, I mean, it starts off the Autobots are being hunted. You know what I'm saying? Like every Autobot, every Decepticon, they're being hunted by the government because of the threat that happened at the end of The Dark Side of the Moon. Is that it? Or The Darkness of the Moon? I don't remember. Anyway, the third one, the third Transformers, what happened in Chicago, like that put fear in the eyes of the government. And because of that, everything changed as far as their relationship with the Autobots. And there were some secret organizations that were doing their own sanctioned things. They were killing people and at the same time killing Autobots. And so it's a lot of gritty stuff that's going on. So it was really simple the way that they built it up. But by the end of it, you would never guess, looking at the beginning of the movie, how it ended. And that, to me, was why I think this is one of the best Transformers. I don't say this is the best movie this year, necessarily, but I do say that the way they build the story for it, it was the best out of the series for me.
Yeah, same here.
But what do you got to add? You've been reading a lot.
No, I was just trying to get the list of the Autobots here.
Hold on, I'm coming back. I'll let you talk.
But anyway, yeah, so I got the list of the Autobots here. So, you know, I'm going to talk about Bumblebee first. You know, Bumblebee, he had a, what is it? At first he was a 1967 Camaro. You know what I'm saying? And we were like, and at first so when you seen the car, you didn't really think it was Bumblebee. You know what I'm saying? Because it's new. Or an older version of a Camaro, but you know what I'm saying, a new look for Bumblebee.
Yeah.
And man, that thing looks sweet, boy. It looks sweet. It eventually changes, but I didn't want it to change personally. You know what I'm saying? You got your boy Hound, who's an Autobot commando. Crosshairs. He's an Autobot paratrooper.
Oh, that was the one that was a
Yeah.
Bugatti and a helicopter?
Oh no, that's Drift.
Oh, he was a
Yeah.
samurai.
Yeah, bro. This is a samurai dude. They have a samurai
Drift was serious.
Autobot, bro.
Drift was serious.
And Ratchet, he makes a brief. Well, I'm gonna say he's in the movie.
You have to see it when you see it.
Yeah.
There's so many Autobots and Decepticons, y'all. That, matter of fact, dare I say, I don't even know if there is any Decepticons anymore. This is a new breed of
Right on.
whatever. Whatever you want to call these robots. It's a whole new breed that was created. And by the end of it, you're going to be like, wow. And the way that they transform versus the way that the regular Decepticons and Autobots transform is totally different. But I will go more into it in the spoiler section, because I know that Joe is like filling his head with all the information of everything we kind of went through. So I think we'll probably go through a spoiler review for it for y'all. But I give it, for me, as an action movie, not as an all-around movie, but just as an action movie, I would have to give this an 8 out of 10 at least. I think I'm actually underdoing it because I'm trying to think of all the movies I've seen so far this year, but I would have to rank this at one of my top 10 this year, you know what I'm saying? So I would have to give it an 8 out of 10 for sure. What would you say?
If I rate this solely as an action movie, bro, I'm gonna give it a 10. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10, man, because it was almost like it was almost like a battle royale. You know what I'm saying? Of just like robots, honestly, and humans.
Yeah.
Cause they had everybody just brawling, and it was like, and you had different moments where, you know, different factions would just cross each other's path, and it'd be like a fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, the Autobots are in the center of it all.
Yeah.
But it's like people. It's like villains with their own agendas. And it's like the Autobots are caught in the middle, and it's just mayhem everywhere they go. And it's like they're literally just trying to survive.
You really by the end of it, you don't see how they're gonna make it out.
You really don't.
Like, there are people that will die. Like, I'm not just talking about Autobots. I'm talking about people that are main characters that die early. Yeah. And then by the end of it, you're like, if they died that early, you know, anybody could be taken out. You know what I'm saying? So it was a nice build up. So you gave it a 10. I gave it an 8. Between both of us, it's a 9. But we're going to go into maybe a small spoiler review of it. But hopefully y'all enjoyed this review. If you did, please leave a like below. If you have any comments on your thought process of it, please leave a comment below. I'm also going to leave a link at the bottom of Joe's channel. So if you want to see any of his animation work or any of his dance videos or anything like that, then definitely go and subscribe for him at the bottom. I'm gonna leave that link at the bottom. Anything else, Joe, you can think of before we go into the spoiler review?
Nothing. I mean, well, there's nothing really on my page yet, but subscribe anyway.
Well, this is SEL0320. Mojo.
Joe.
We out. See you in a little bit for this spoiler review. Deuces. Joe just chilling. You ain't gonna dip.